Little stepped closer to the genie and said, "Uncle Genie, don't worry so much. We'll all work together and find out the mystery behind your magic." The genie stood there with his head lowered. The disappointment in his eyes was obvious. Suddenly, Beetle looked around and said, "But there's one big problem." Little looked surprised and asked, "What problem?" Beetle pointed at the genie's enormous body and said, "How are we going to take such a huge genie home? Everyone in the village will run away in fear." The genie sighed deeply. "I don't want you to get into trouble because of me." Little thought for a moment and smiled. "Let's see whether all your magic is gone or if only your wish-granting magic isn't working. Try using some magic on yourself." The genie slowly raised both hands. Joom, joom, room. A small swirl of blue smoke rose into the air. In an instant, the genie's enormous body began to shrink. A moment later, when the smoke disappeared, the genie was standing there almost the same size as an ordinary human, just slightly taller than Little. And now the genie had 2 legs as well. Beetle's eyes became wide with amazement. "Wow, that actually worked!" The genie moved his hands and legs in surprise and said, "How strange! My magic still works on myself." Little happily said, "Then I understand. Not all of your magic is gone. The problem must be somewhere else. There's no need to think about it anymore today. We have to get home quickly. Uncle Genie, do one thing. Please go inside the lamp. We'll take you out first thing tomorrow morning." Soft morning sunlight filtered through the leaves, painting beautiful patterns of shadows across the ground. Little was lying on his bed. The magical lamp was lying beside him. Beetle came walking sleepily, rubbing his eyes, and whispered, "Little, are you awake? Little?" In a sleepy voice, Little replied, "I'm getting up. Come inside." Little sat up. Beetle also came inside and sat down. Beetle said, "Little, get Uncle Genie out." "Wait, I'm taking him out." Little picked up the lamp and rubbed it. 1 rub, 2 rubs, 3 rubs. With a loud rushing sound, Uncle Genie came out. But there was a problem. The genie came out with his enormous body again. As soon as he came out, he hit his head against the roof. "Uff! Why does this always happen to me?" Beetle said, "Uncle, why did you come out so huge? Now you're going to say, 'Why does this always happen to me again?'" The genie looked at his own hands and muttered, This can't be happening. My magic never used to fail." Beetle said, "Exactly what I said would happen." But Beetle scratched his head and said, puzzled, "Then maybe your magic storage is empty?" Little burst out laughing. "Come on, is there such a thing as a magic storage?" The genie sighed as well. For a while, everyone remained silent. Then Little said, "Uncle Genie, how long have you known that turtle?" The genie replied, "After Aladdin, I was passed from one place to another. I wandered around here and there until I eventually ended up in this jungle. After Aladdin, 1 or 2 people tried to use me for their own selfish purposes. Many killings and terrible things happened because of that. Then a good-hearted person brought me to this jungle. Later, when that good person was attacked, they threw him and me into this sewer. I couldn't find anyone who could get me out. Since then, this turtle, the frogs, ants, mosquitoes, flies, and birds have been my companions. I never really met them face to face, but we used to talk to one another." Little said, "Then all of them should be able to tell us something." The genie nodded. "Yes, they should be able to." Little said, "Then let's go right now. Can you take us there?" The genie took a deep breath and said, "Let me try." The genie cast a spell. Everything suddenly became covered in blue light. Then everyone disappeared. A moment later, everyone was back in the jungle. The old turtle slowly walked towards them and said, There is no use worrying without searching for the cause of the problem. I'm very happy that you are trying to find the reason." Little's eyes lit up. The answer to this mystery must be hidden somewhere. Little took the magical lamp in his hands and began examining it carefully. Underneath the layers of dirt on the lamp, some strange and ancient carvings could be seen. The genie looked surprised. "These writings, I've never seen them before." Suddenly, tick, 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 the lamp began to shake. Everyone jumped backward in fear. But this time, no smoke came out. The lamp simply became a little hot and then became quiet again. Beetle breathed a sigh of relief. "Phew! I thought that horrible smell was going to come out again." Just then, a small bird flew down from a tree branch and landed on the lamp. For a brief moment, the lamp began to glow brightly with a golden light. Then the light disappeared again. Little said in astonishment, "Did you see that?" A spark of hope appeared in the genie's eyes. "That means the lamp's power isn't completely gone." The old turtle said in a serious voice, "The power is still there, but somehow it seems to be trapped." Everyone fell into deep thought. Just then, a mud-covered frog jumped forward and said, "I know an old story." Everyone looked at him. The frog cleared his throat and continued, "It has been heard that deep beneath this sewer there are not only this lamp, but also many other ancient objects buried there." Beetle asked curiously, "What kind of objects?" The frog lowered his voice, "A magical stone." The genie exclaimed in surprise, "A magical stone?" The frog nodded. "According to the old stories passed down by word of mouth, the magical power of this lamp used to flow from that stone." Little became excited. "Then something must have happened to that stone." The genie placed a hand on his forehead and said, "I slept for 1,000 years. I have no idea what happened during that time. I only heard stories from the creatures around me." Just then, the ants stopped their game of football. One of the ants came running towards them, panicking heavily, and shouted, "Danger! Danger!" Little asked, "What happened?" The ant said, "There's an old cave deeper inside the jungle. For the past few nights, people have seen a blue light glowing from inside it." Beetle trembled with fear. "A ghost?" The birds shook their heads. "No." The mosquitoes buzzed and said, "We flew there and saw it ourselves. It's not a ghost." The old turtle slowly said, "Perhaps that cave is connected to the magic." The genie's heart began pounding. I know that place." Little looked surprised. "Really?" The genie nodded. "Seriously, 1,000 years ago, there was a secret magical museum there." Everyone was shocked at once. Little said firmly, "Then there's no time to waste. We have to go to that cave and find the answer to this mystery." Beetle swallowed nervously. "Right now?" "Yes, right now." The genie looked up at the sky. For the first time in many years, a ray of hope returned to his eyes. Maybe the answer to the mystery of my lost magic is hidden inside that cave. The three of them slowly began walking deeper into the jungle. Behind them, the mud-covered frog, the old turtle, the ants, and the birds watched them with curious eyes. None of them knew. Deep inside the darkness of that cave, a mystery was waiting. A mystery that would change not only the genie's magic, but perhaps the future of the entire jungle. To uncover the mystery, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, and follow so that the video reaches you before everyone else. To be continued.